Three, two, one, action. Welcome back to episode 41 of As Seen on Screen. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gracie, and we are your source for all things entertainment news, reviews, interviews, and more.
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome back to another week here on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We have some fun award season news to go over. I feel like every single week we do at this point, but we're running it down to almost the very end. So these are the last few award show recaps we're going to be having on the show. As well, we have some news in movies, music, and television. So let's jump right into it. Starting off with the SAG Awards. They were this past weekend. And you know what? This is my official petition to get Kristen Bell hosting everything.
I feel like we've said that for all of the announcers in awards season so far. We've been like, they need to do more. They need to keep going.
You know what? Yeah, actually, you're right. We should just have one big group of
Right.
hosts.
But you know what? They've all been females thus far. So
Exactly. I'm just saying, I'm seeing a theme.
women do it better. Maybe Conan O'Brien will.
Conan O'Brien's gonna throw us for a loop, and he's gonna be amazing, and we're gonna add him to the lineup of legendary hosts for the 2025 award season. Well, Kristen Bell opened with a rendition of Do You Want to Build a Snowman? She sang, Do You Want to Be an Actor? And you know what? I have to say, it was pretty funny. She really hit that one out of the park. They showed a bunch of clips of all of the, well, not all of, but a lot of the actors present at the awards, some of their first acting credits on the screen as she sang along in the background, matching it. And yeah, some people had some great reactions. Timothy Chalamet was laughing at his a lot. You know what? Jonathan Bailey's was funny, but Jonathan Bailey's wasn't even there. But then someone in the crowd like screamed really loudly for him.
Yeah, I would too.
But throughout the night, she also had some good segments with some other people. She had a good one with Jason Segel. She had a good one with her Good Place co-stars. They had like a little challengers joke going on there. Her and Leighton Meester also did one for Gossip Girl. They were calling up people in the room, but it was only food based. And then Leighton Meester was like, "Well, I'm just hungry."
Which is very valid, honestly. I always forget that Kristen Bell is the voice of Gossip Girl. And then I watched the video and I was like, oh my God, what a throwback.
I love watching interviews where she talks about doing that show because, especially now, a lot of them are coming back out with the news that we'll talk about a bit later with Nobody Wants This season two. But Kristen Bell always speaks about how she barely was ever on I don't think she was ever really on the set of Gossip Girl because she recorded the voiceovers from LA. Obviously,
Hmm.
Gossip Girl shot in New York City. So she doesn't really have a lot of connections that way, even though people are always like, oh, you're on the Gossip Girl cast, all this. But she was really just voicing it over in LA. She was not in New York with them.
Man, she had such an easy job. Like, she didn't even have to act. She just had to like say these lines into a voice memo, and then they were like, perfect, you are the voice.
Lonely boy spotted on the Upper West Side. XOXO. I guess it'd be the East Side. Upper East Side.
I mean, Timothy Chalamet is finally getting his flowers because he became the youngest person to receive the SAG-AFTRA award. He won Best Actor in a performance for A Complete Unknown. We've been saying Timothy Chalamet is having his moment, and I love how honest he's being. I loved his speech. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, there's the normal normal speech of like, I'd like to thank my publicist and the people in this movie and so on and so forth, which is great. And you should always thank the people that are important. Not saying that, but I did love the fact that he was honest, like brutally honest, in the fact that he wants to be one of the great actors that like generations to come talk about. And he didn't say it in like a rude or like full of himself way. He said, I'm very inspired by the greats that raised me, the greats that are here now. I'm just aiming to do projects and create things that put me up there with them. And this is kind of just like the fuel I need to keep going. So good for him for being so young and so motivated. And I hope he does become one of the greats. I can see it happening, but I hope he's right and he does become one of the greats.
I could see it happening too. I mean, especially with the last few years. I mean, honestly, he's always been so go, go, go since he became very prominent on the film scene with Beautiful Boy, Call Me by Your
Mhm.
Name. He had Little Women. He's been in the Dune movies. He's been in
I
Wonka,
can't think of a bad movie that he's done.
right? I love Timothy Chalamet. He is
Like
so,
he knows what the people want.
yeah. And I was watching the Entertainment Tonight interview that his mom did afterwards as well, and she was talking about the moment she kind of knew he would become big in the acting scene, and she was talking about when he was at LaGuardia and they had to do this like project of some sort, and they went to Target and they bought a bunch of sweatpants and then they had to dye them purple in their bathtub at home. And then Timothy came at the interview. He's like, "You didn't dye them. I dyed them." She's like, "No, I did the dyeing." He's like, "What?" And they were
Like,
like,
Mom, don't take this from me.
no, but I love Timothy Chalamet. I agree with you on his speech front. I really liked it. I thought it was different and kind of refreshing to hear an actor being proud of their work and showing that they were proud of themselves and the work that they put in. And then I want to keep going with that type of work ethic. So I thought it was good too. I agree with you on that.
Another exciting moment at the SAG Awards.
So happy.
We are finally getting our point proven that should have been proven a long time ago. The Fall Guy deserves so many more awards than what it got. And we will forever be upset with how dirty everybody did it. But what did it win, Nicole?
The Fall Guy won Best Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture at the SAG Awards, and Gracie and I were thrilled about this. We were talking about this last night as well when it happened. But man, like Gracie said, I'm never forgiving you guys for letting it flop the box office. Because what do you
Never
mean?
done.
I still stand on the point that it came out a little too early in the summer. If it had come out end of May, maybe it would have had a chance. I think it was definitely better as a later season summer blockbuster. Could have been a blockbuster, but you'll let it flop. What the heck?
For real, we did Ryan Gosling dirty. And I'm upset because we saw it through for Barbie. But when he does another one, y'all aren't there.
Apparently, we just can't have back to back.
You know what? But honestly, for this specific award, I don't think there was anyone else that could have or should have won.
This was a very niche award.
I was
Like,
like, you're telling me this stunt movie isn't gonna win the stunt award? I would have been livid.
at least it won. Thank goodness. Speaking of wins, we also saw Demi Moore win Best Actress again. Kieran Culkin won Best Supporting Actor. Zoe Saldana took it home for Best Supporting Actress. So, have some interesting views into the Oscars this weekend. I mean, my one still like super up in the air for me is Best Actress because I am very much between Mikey Madison, Demi Moore. My gut is telling me I don't my gut is just confused as my brain. I don't know.
I would be so eternally happy if it was Cynthia Erivo, but my heart knows that it
Can you
probably isn't.
imagine late curveball in the award season?
Dude, think about how much work went into her role voice-wise. Like all of her stunts she did so that she could sing live. That in itself is so impressive. And I'm glad she's nominated, so she at least got a nod, but like I know she's not gonna win because God forbid a musical wins Best Actress,
Yeah.
other than Amelia Perez.
Yeah, true.
But hey, there's another curveball with all the controversy with Amelia Perez now. We don't
Yeah.
know if it's gonna win anymore. Well, obviously, Zoe Saldana is still doing great on that front, but not sure if Carla's gonna be winning the award this time, but she will be attending. So
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be interesting. And now with Best Actor, I was pretty confident that Adrian Brody was gonna take it, and I still feel pretty confident in that guess. But
but it'd be nice to see
to
Timothy
see
Chalamet
I would love to see Timmy take it. So
and
we'll
Timmy
see. I don't
Tim.
know. I mean, the last thing I forgot to put on Gracie and I's list here we're talking about, but Did you see the compilation people are making of the mistakes last night at the award show with
Yeah.
presenters having some mishap with the teleprompters? Oh my gosh, it was too funny.
The the cutest one was the Honora cast when he read out Mikey's name on the teleprompter.
They
I
had
was like,
few missteps.
you're so precious.
They're so cute. And then Timothy messed up his lines. He's like, maybe we should have practiced.
Yeah, and then Jane Fonda having a voiceover play over her talking.
She's like, I can summon voices.
I was like, wow, they had a few problems, but like they handled it very gracefully.
They did. Yeah, I loved seeing all the comments. People were like, it's funny seeing actors act like the rest of us.
It's nice seeing actors be normal people who make mistakes. Yeah, congratulations to everyone, and I'm excited for what the Oscars have in store.
It's gonna be an interesting night, and I am very excited. Actually, you know it's gonna be so weird? I am watching it at like 11 a.m.
That's crazy. For those of you who enjoy movies and snacks, this is a great one because Krispy Kreme now has a movie snack collection. And honestly, I'm kind of obsessed with it, but I don't really eat Krispy Kreme. I think the one time I ate it was when we went to South by.
It's true. That's definitely the last time I had it too, I
And
think.
our
I had
our
it.
literal hotel was right beside the Krispy Kreme. So
When
we
I
were like,
tell
let's
you,
go.
when our Uber pulled up to our hotel in Texas, my immediate reaction was, "Oh my God, we have to go to Krispy Kreme for breakfast one day."
That was one of the first things you said about Texas.
Listen, was I wrong? No, it was delicious.
It was a donut.
Okay, that's probably fair. But anyways. Turning into music news a little bit, we got the Osheaga lineup for 2025. And you know what? I feel like people are generally pretty excited about this lineup this year. It's pretty good. Do you have a favorite on either like a headliner, someone coming at all?
I'm pretty excited for this lineup. I feel like every year it gets better and better because people are just starting to actually take it seriously as a festival now. I feel like because it's Canadian, they were like, eh, but now we got some solid people. All of the openers are pretty strong. Like, or the openers, the headliners are pretty strong. You got the Killers, Tyler the Creator, Olivia Rodrigo, Gracie Abrams, the Beaches, keeping it Canadian.
The Chainsmokers feel like such. When is the last time they released music?
Pretty recently,
Every time I think of the Chainsmokers, I just think of like 2016. It
2015. Yeah.
it feels like such an
hmm
era of its own, so it's exciting to see them.
I'm pumped for this. I really want to go because it just seems like such a fun time and such a good lineup, like a mix of people. Like, when are you ever gonna see the Killers, Phineas, Glass Animals, and Doechii in the same like vicinity? Also, Baby No Money is in there, and I am obsessed with him. Love this man. So I kind of want to go to support him. Who are you excited for, Nicole?
I mean, you said a lot of them. Olivia Rodrigo is great. Gracie Abrams, The Beaches, like you said, keeping it very Canadian. Toronto, Chainsmokers, Shabuzi, Alex Warren is on that lineup as
Yeah.
well. They have a ton of great people. It's very exciting. But this year's festival, for those of you who haven't heard, is taking place between August 1st to 3rd in Montreal. So coming around the corner pretty fast. We say this now, but it'll be here in a flash. So there is your lineup this summer if you're looking for a festival to go to. Shega is happening beginning of August. All
All
right,
right.
well, your Wicked Heart should be happy because what is next on our lineup?
Cynthia Erivo is hosting this year's Tony Awards on June 8th. It'll be on CBS. Honestly, I feel like she's just so fitting to be hosting this specific award show, not just because, majority of it is about musicals and theater, but just because of like how much experience she has
Mm.
with the Tonys and with this genre. And she's gonna kill it. I know she is. She kills everything she does. But yeah, award show season is here for her. Not for the awards, but
She has
I
been
wish.
every single one. She's present.
And she's been serving.
She has. But I know you're also excited for the Oscars because she, in one way or another, is having a spotlight at the Oscars, her and Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I just saw that they're singing. I'm excited. I love Wicked. I love the soundtrack. I think Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, as I've said time and time again, are super talented and perfect for these roles. So I'm glad we'll get to see them back in somewhat of these characters before Wicked Part 2 comes out.
I'm reading through the comments on this post about them performing at the Oscars, and theater kids are really showing up.
They
They're
should.
they're rioting. They're like, they better not be snubbed. I hope they're gonna win an Oscar if you're having them performing. And then
Okay, guys.
taking shots at Amelia Perez.
Okay, guys. Listen, I am all for them winning awards. I would love for them to win awards, but sometimes we have to be a bit realistic.
That's pretty funny. I am excited though, because that performance should be a lot of fun. Some of the best, like I think still my favorite is I'm Just Ken from
Yeah.
Barbie. That was the best thing about Oscar performances is a lot of them are like productions in themselves. And they're
Hmm.
so much fun and they're so lively and they're so out there and they grab your attention. And so I have no doubt that this performance will just be one big spectacle and I'm very excited to see it.
I really hope Cynthia Erivo is like flying around.
Literally, they need her flying around the theater just on
Yeah.
her broom all the way through the crowd.
Like, you know what Pink does at her concerts?
Yes.
I need that, but Cynthia Erivo.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, moving it over to movies a bit, we just got the first trailer and poster for Bring Her Back by A24 coming out in theaters May 30th of this year. The movie is from the creators of Talk to Me, Danny and Michael Filippo. And you know what? This looks crazy. This looks beyond wild and creepy and just so out there. Talk to Me was definitely very freaky. And there's a lot of supernatural elements. There's a lot of gore, and this movie looks like there's zero shortage of it. It's not a complete trailer, it's just one of the first trailers, so we don't have all of the details yet about the movie, but it definitely looks like it'll be a freaky, supernatural, crazy, creepy gore fest.
You know, A24 always comes out with like either the cutest stuff or like the most messed up stuff.
You know, it's funny because I finally watched Talk to Me a few months ago. Wasn't my fave. It wasn't my fave, and I don't know why. I don't know what about it didn't resonate with me properly about it, but I'm hoping Bring Her Back has some redemption for me at least,
Yeah.
'cause so many people like to talk to me. So a lot of people, this will just be an adding on to the love, but we'll see.
Also in film and movie news, a new Martin Scorsese thriller starring Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, and Leonardo DiCaprio is set to be coming sometime soon in the future. All we really know right now is obviously the cast I said, and that it is a crime thriller that is set in Hawaii. So very Dwayne Johnson-esque with Hawaii. I feel like he loves bringing film and TV back there. I'm kind of here for the reunion between him and Emily Blunt.
True, the Jungle Book 2.0, maybe.
Maybe, but just with like a more adult version. I don't know. But
I-
Leonardo DiCaprio is really throwing me off here.
It's a weird group, but personally for me, Dwayne Johnson needs some redemption after Red One.
Oof. Yeah. I kind of just forgot about Red One.
Yeah, after that, I don't know. I mean, that obviously I feel like they'll give off very different vibes. I
Hmm.
trust Martin Scorsese, but also Dwayne Johnson has not been hitting the target on all of his past projects, so I'm a little worried. But that
Only
being
time will tell.
exactly. And rounding out our news today, Leighton Meester and Miles Fowler have joined the cast of Nobody Wants This season two. For those of you who aren't aware, this is what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about Leighton Meester and Kristen Bell teaming up, because of course, Gossip Girl is their tie to each other. Leighton Meester is also married to Adam Brody, the star of Nobody Wants This. And I'm very intrigued to see. I mean, the obvious assumption I feel as though is Leighton Meester's character is going to kind of try to come between Kristen Bell and Adam Brody's characters. We'll see. I mean, again, nothing is confirmed at all to us, but I feel like that's the obvious assumption
Yeah.
there. But who knows what direction they'll choose to go with it. I'm just very excited for this. I think this is so funny. I, you know what? A part of me wishes they would bring in Rachel Bilson because my heart belongs to Seth and Summer from the OC, and we can have like the ultimate love square. We can have a whole
You never know. They might announce new cast. Maybe that's season 3. We'll see.
I would die. You would not, I would not shut up about that forever. You don't understand. Maybe for your sake, you don't want that to happen because I would be so insufferable. It would be insane. I love
This
the
is this is your version of my Nicholas Galitzine.
literally. Well, moving away from news and on to our watch of the week. Gracie, what have you been watching this week?
I haven't had a lot of time to watch anything really, so mine is a TV show because, they're easy to watch. Sophie has been watching The Vampire Diaries, and I've just, when you kind of just sit in the back and watch over the shoulder.
Yep.
I've already rewatched and watched The Vampire Diaries like 5 times, so I think it's fitting that I'm just watching it again. But yeah, Vampire Diaries, good show. I miss it. Love the drama, love the chemistry.
When you said watch in the background, all I can think of is like a dad when you put on a show or
Exactly.
something and they're kind of standing in the back and they're like, I don't want to watch this. And then they slowly make their way over to the couch and then sit down. And they're like,
See, the
oh,
problem is I do
you
want
don't
to
want to watch
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And they
You
do
would think
too. They just won't admit it.
you would think after like the fifth time of watching the show, I'd be like, meh, no, it hits every time. I tell you, Damon Salvatore, the man you are. It's such a good, there's so many good plot lines and like ships, and it's just such an easy watch. But it's kind of my comfort show now that I think of it. But anyway, what was your watch of the week, Nicole? I think I
I've
know what it is, but please go
still,
ahead.
I've still been indulging in Modern Family. That's my consistent watch. But my movie watch, my real watch of the week is I went and saw The Monkey yesterday by Osgood Perkins. He's the director and writer of Longlegs. This is a new film with Neon. Stars Theo James. There, I stayed away from the trailer as I try to do for most movies, and there was actually a few curveballs that I didn't expect are in the movie, and maybe that's just because I stayed away from the trailer. I don't know how much of it they show in the trailer, so I won't say anything about it to keep it under wraps for everyone else. But I enjoyed it. I didn't feel as though it was as gory and
Here's where I question, we have to rank it on the Gracie scale of would I willingly watch this, and if I did, how scary.
I think you would because I
Okay.
think I've watched gorier movies with you. Also,
Probably from.
true. I think I don't know. It's because it's like a dark comedy horror. I definitely knew that going into it, so I didn't expect it to be like a super serious horror movie. So I definitely also think that would definitely help you. I also think they did a good job of keeping it very light. Like this monkey is so creepy. And they do a lot
Thought you
of
were gonna say cute, and I was like,
no.
you have issues.
No, they do a good job of poking fun at that while trying to also keep it scary. They do a lot, like cinematography wise, the choices were funny because they would do a lot of like zoom ins to the monkey, a lot of isolated shots where it was like just darkness behind and all you could see were the eyes. They did a lot of good jobs there. I mean, the kills were really funny. I saw someone's review say they were very much like Final Destination kills, which I totally agree with. They were very out there and not very probable at all in the real world. So they kept calling them
That's
freak
reassuring.
accidents in the movie. So definitely just a lot of comedic elements to this movie as well, like very dark comedy. But on the other hand, they also played a lot with the idea of death and mortality. And a lot of this film revolved around the fact that everyone dies. It's just a matter of when, kept coming up a lot in the movie. And so that was like the dark comedy element of it. So, hey, they explored a lot in this movie. They said a lot of things, and I thought it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. So I was happy with what I went into and what I saw. Theo James was, you know
Mm.
what? I thought he did really well with this role. So, and I mean, he's not hard to look at for an hour and a half. So
No. And he's continuing the trend of men wearing like little glasses. I can't say the official like internet name for them, but the little glasses are here for men this year.
they are the best. So
Would you end up giving it on Letterbox?
I gave it a 3.5.
Okay, that's solid.
It felt very similar to me with like Hard Eyes.
Mm,
Like that one was obviously like a romance comedy horror. This was more of a dark comedy horror, but they felt the same for me as in I went in getting exactly what I expected. It was funny. I had a lot of laughs. There were some gory out there kills, and that was that. So I was happy. So you can see the monkey in theaters now.
well, keeping with the trend of weekly, what is your song of the week, Nicole?
I'm keeping it Canadian this week. Miss Tate McRae.
Ah,
Her new album. Oh my gosh. So close to what? There's not a single skip on the album for me. My favorite is Nostalgia. That was my favorite off of my first listen of the album. I mean, I also love Purple Lace Bra. I love
mm,
Two Hands, which we already had before it came out, but I do love that song as well. I just love this era for her. I think she is so she's killing it right now. She's killing it with the spotlight that she has. I love her and the Kid Laroi together. I love their song on
mm,
this album together. I just love everything going on for her right now. I think the music videos are great that we've seen.
yeah.
She's killing it on all fronts, and I'm so happy for her. I think people are loving this album, so I'm very excited for her that people are loving this album. And I mean, I'm definitely loving this album. So there we go. But what is in your song of the week, Gracie?
I'm gonna keep it the same. I'm gonna say Tate McRae, obviously, number one, gotta support the Canadian girlies or any Canadian in general. But she's just also like killing it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how people cannot know or not like who Tate McRae is, but I'm here for her newfound confidence. Like, obviously, she's always been confident, but this is like a sexy, she doesn't care anymore type of confidence. So I'm really here for that. I do love her song with the Kid Laroi, I Know Love. It's kind of hard to just pick one, but I like Greenlight. I feel like that's my go-to right now, but it's definitely gonna change
Fair.
because like it's
Very
just
fair.
hit after hit. So congratulations to Miss Tate McRae, making Canada proud.
Well, that brings us to our last segment of the show, as always, closing it out with upcoming releases. Starting today, February 27th, over on Netflix, we have Running Point.
Next up, we have Demon City on Netflix.
And also on today, we have House of David over on Prime Video.
Then on February 28th, we have Last Breath, which will be in theaters. One that we saw at TIFF together, Riff Raff, is having a limited release in theaters, so make sure you check that out.
Also in limited release, we have Superboys of Malagon.
And lastly, for February 28th, we have My Dead Friend Zoe, which is having a limited release. And you can also watch our interview with the director of the film in last week's episode.
And Harris is having a big week. He's in Riff Raff. He's in My Dead Friend Zoe. You're getting your Ed Harrisville this week.
March 2nd, obviously, we have the 97th Annual Academy Awards on ABC. And March 4th, we have Daredevil Born Again, the series going to Disney Plus.
And then closing out our upcoming releases also on March 4th over on Netflix, a series we've talked about a bit on here, but kept getting pushed back. It's finally getting released. With Love, Megan, like I said, Netflix, March 4th. So that is all we have for today. Thank you again so much for tuning in and sticking around with us. I am Nicole.
I'm Gracie, and you can find us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube.
We'll be back same time next week. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.